Idara Osso.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. I want to use this special opportunity to thank the organizers for giving me this platform. And I think before we start, I think we've been sitting down for too long. Can we please just rise up? You're rising up for yourself. So first, I want you to do one thing: clap for yourself. Continue clapping. Okay, stop. So you now say to yourself, thank God I made it this year. Say it again, thank God I made it this year. Then you say, you know why? I'm not going to waste it. I am not going to waste it. A round of applause for yourself. You can sit down. Okay, so I'm tasked to speak on mindset / mental and productivity recalibration. And the idea for this is that we're going to emphasize on how to reassess, optimize our mental attitude, habits, approaches to productivity. And I've been listening to the various speakers who have come on impactful teaching, and I'm honored to have been seated to listen to them. One of the things I picked from the last speaker was when he mentioned you have to have a global mindset. And that struck me because someone might be thinking, I'm here, I'm in Suleja. How can I think global? Is that possible? Well, I can tell you, you can. So there are some people who have made names for themselves sitting in their sitting room in hut, but they had internet. And you can see how your work can travel if you have that global mindset. But I want to take it up a notch. I don't want us to deal with global, because global, you can say opposite of global is local. You don't want to be a local champion. I want you to have a limitless mindset. Tell your neighbor, limitless mindset. Do you know it's possible for you to achieve things beyond your limit? And I will start by telling you my personal productivity journey, right? So, when I did my first master's in 2010, I enrolled, got to school, new culture, talking about the United Kingdom. I don't know anybody, entered there, everything was strange. But upon my very quiet time, I picked up my Bible and wrote inside my journal that the world needs me. Now, if I told you why I wrote that, I did not know. I just followed what was in my head and wrote, the world needs me. And I put it. Now, that word did not make any sense to me. I'm talking 2010. Do you know when it makes sense to me? I will tell you. In 2019, just about 3 years into working for my current organization, I was on field mission from Kebbi State, linking Kano. And I woke up and saw that the car had swerved from the road and somersaulted 3 times. And I came out and the car was upside down. So I'm talking, just to give you perspective, I'm talking about a 2019 Land Cruiser. State of the art. Somersaulted, but not one airbag deployed. None. But again, the thing is that nobody died. Right? But I came out from that accident and looked back. Now, let me paint the picture for you. My school bag was in the middle of the car. And by the time the car somersaulted, the school bag was already in the middle of the road, but the car was in the bush. But I came out, and one boy came to me and said, "Sir, is this your school bag?" I don't know why he came to me with my bag, but he gave it to me. But at that point, what makes the story interesting is that I looked back at the accidented car, I looked at myself, that I should have died there. Right there and then, something shifted in my head. I was like, you know what? Now, so if I don't go, I will leave God forbid, my wife a widow and all. But something ticked in my head. And I started saying, you know what? I have to be intentional about my life. Because at the time when I came out from the accident, I was a nobody. And I vowed to myself, you see that word I wrote in 2010? That's when it played out that word, the world needs me. I started becoming intentional to take on developing myself. So in 2020, when COVID happened, it was as if COVID happened because of me. Because they needed to shape myself on what to do with my journey. And in 2020, I thought to myself, I was a resource guy. I'm still a resource guy. My friends will send me, "Idara, I have 5 books for you to read." So I saw his list of books, and it was interesting because those were some of the books that my friends would tell me, "Give me." And I would send it to them for free. Just for free. I wasn't reading them all. I just had the passion that you tell me, "Send me 10 books," and I will send it to you. He will tell you, "Thanks, boss." I will say, "Thank you." I wasn't reading. Then something told me, "Are you not stupid that you are sending people books and you're not reading one of them?" So I started reading in 2020. I started reading. I wasn't counting. I was just reading to try to expand my muscles. 2021. And I was happy with myself. 200 books accomplished. So I clapped for myself. I didn't tell anybody. 2022, I was okay, let's take it up a niche. Let's see what we can do. Same 200 books. Let's see what we can do with it. And I enrolled for another master's to say, okay, let's see whether you can even be distracted and read. By the end of 2022, I'd completed 261. At 2023, I decided to take it up a niche. I read again. I'd gotten to 361. By 2023, I said, let me enroll for another master's again to see if this thing is just fluke, because people are going to ask you your numbers. And as of last year, my record had broken everything I set. By last year, I'd done 428. Now, I'm not telling you this to talk about my numbers. I'm telling you this to tell you that you can achieve what you want to achieve if you focus. Because again, what I tell you is about a limitless mindset. So don't look at me and say, I'm out of this moon. I didn't start reading until 2020. So tell your neighbor again, I have a limitless mindset. Okay, so let's dive into it. So my structure for today is we're going to look at the definition of terms and what we already know and something we need to know about productivity and mental calibration. Then the next thing is, why are we not taking action if we already know these things? Right? So that's the second thing we're going to talk about. The third thing we're going to talk about is, what can we do about it? How can we recalibrate? Then the last one is that we are all going to sign a contract for ourselves today. And we say that today, that's why we said we're not going to waste it. So that by the time you're looking at it at December 31st, 2025, you see the commitment you had for yourself. Because guess what? All of us have written notes. By now, all of us will have a library of all the notes we've taken from the years when we started writing. And the question is, what did you do? Because of what? We didn't have accountability partners. But I am here to help you. So, let's look at definition of terms. Mindset is a set of attitudes, beliefs, and perspectives that shape how a person thinks, feels, and responds to situation. It influences action and outcomes. So basically, your mindset is basically, in those that are computer science, you know the thing we call script, right? You know when we run that script, or those that code, when you run that script, it runs. There are some scripts all of us are running with in our head. He mentioned global perspective, right? That's the script he's running in his head. He's running, helping individuals. That's the script he's running in his head. He's seeing his prosperity in helping people. So that's the script he's running in his head. That's his mindset. It's also your software, your configuration. How are you configured to be? We'll go into it deeper later. Productivity. Productivity is the ability to achieve desired results efficiently by effectively using time, energy, resource, and is the result that enables you to produce. You see, productivity, key things were mentioned there. Your time, because like he said, you should have been at home sleeping now, but you're here. Some people are dancing, right? They will say, allow me, make I just flex my life. But you've decided to use your own in a more productive way. The notes you take away from this would help you in your productive journey. Now, what's recalibration? It's the process of adjusting and redefining strategic goals, approaches with changing circumstances and desired results. So your mind will shift. Recalibration will help you adjust. Remember what I told you about my accident? I came out from the vehicle. I said I should have just died. By that time, it would be an empty, unknown Idara Osso. But now that I'm out of the accident, I'm like, something. I used to tell some people that you think you don't have time to change your life, or you think you want to remain there. Something has not shifted you already. If something has shifted you, nobody will teach you. There's some things you will align. There's some movies you watch that will shape you. There's some music you will hear that will shape you. There's some discussions that you hear that will shape you. I'll give you an example. I was sitting with my secondary school friends. Many years we just met, and my guy was treating me out. And he's treating me out for lunch. And I'm looking at the restaurant. I'm like, I will not go here on a normal day. Oh. Why are you taking me here? And by the time he brought the bill, he was paying 80,000 naira for lunch. I said, Father Lord, I need to get here. But he's what he could afford. In that same place, they were discussing about the gift they wanted to buy for their pastor. What was the gift? They said, pastor's birthday is coming in. We just want serious guys. So far, we've been able to raise 38 million. I'm like, I don't understand. 38 what? But they were operating in that realm. Me, I'm just coming. But guess what? I got inspired. Not that I'll go and steal 38 million tomorrow. But it's that I'm sitting with people who are on a level that I wish to be. So it's very important that when we're talking about our mindset, we should focus on those people that would trigger you, not people that would reduce you. Now, we're going to talk about the philosophies of life. How do we see life, right? And there are different categories of people and how they see life. By the time I mention them, you will know what category you fall on. There's the view called the fatalist view. What's the fatalist view? The fatalist view are people who says that they believe that events are predetermined and inevitable. They are the ones that say, as we are here today, now God. Everything is handed over to them by the natural forces. They don't have any control. They are living life passively. Right? So, for example, I know some cultures, let's say there's an accident. The first thing you hear is that, it's God that said that it would be. But not knowing that there are things that we should have also avoided. Those are the fatalist views. So, in Nigerian context, they manifest things like Nagod. Nagod, right? Then let's go to the second one. It's called the humanist philosophy. It says, I can be whatever I want to be. That is what drives the humanist. They own their life, and they reject to a large extent supernatural explanations of life. So they believe that they are taking control of what belongs to them. Then the last view, we have people that are biblicists, but again, I call them those that believe in the rule of faith. In the rule of faith, they talk about how people take their personal responsibility, but more so, they also rely on divine purpose. Right? I want to be within this area where I am connected by taking responsibility of my life, but I'm channeled to the divine. So I cannot there are times that I know I cannot move on. I have a way to go, but I don't have that control. I can take control, but I have to connect it to the source that will direct me. In a nutshell, these three philosophies of life bring out three types of results. One is passive acceptance. What will be, will be. Right? So people are passive with their lives. What will be, would be. The second one, who are humanists, are more or less, they are like proactive change. I have a problem. Who can help me solve this problem? What can I do to take control of this problem? They are the ones that react to it proactively without any fallback. Then the other ones are grounded with their faith. Some are Christians, they rely on the Bible for direction. Some who are other religions can take into what they believe in within their faith area, but they channel it to their personal responsibilities. Right. So now we're going to assess the different mindsets that we have. Now we're talking about things we already know. Right? One of them is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So we all know what growth mindset is. We want to grow through effort and perseverance rather than being static. Right? You can desire to grow, and if you're not moving and working towards it, you become stagnant. So that's the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Then the second type of mindset is an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset. There are some people, one person was giving an analogy that, why is it that in Africa, why were we trained that it is until after you finish eating your rice on the bowl, that's when you reach out for the meat? has some scarcity mindset because you have to reward yourself for finishing that rice. Meanwhile, in other cultures, what they do is that they eat the protein alongside the food. So we should change our perspective. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, who gave us this type of mentality? Who says, for example, why things shouldn't function the way it should function? I live in a society where, in the UK, where they don't play with their time. You miss a doctor's appointment, there's nothing you can do. You've not heard the best lines of customer service before. They will tell you, I'm so sorry. There's nothing they can do. And you have to recalibrate and follow that kind of change in your life. Optimistic mindset and pessimistic mindset. The first speaker spoke about vision. So you're talking about vision. Where do I want to be the next 10 years? It's so funny that you carry this microphone down this street and tell them, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? The person will respond, I don't see my 2025 finish. Why are you telling me about next 10 years? What's my problem? Right? So they don't want to see, they're not optimistic. Someone will say, this Tinubu government is useless. But there are people that are making money in this government too. Sure? So why are you not optimistic to find how to make money off it? We have a coach here who can guide you on how you can make sense out of the skill you have. It's not even by your CV. There's people who package their life so well. A carpenter will tell you that he's a furniture designer. A carpenter will tell you he's a futuristic something. And you hire him than somebody that says himself is a carpenter because you're old school. So you have to think in an optimistic way and remove pessimism from your mind. When you say, no, I can't, why can't you? Every time I sit down with young people and they say they can't, why can't you? Oh, nobody will give me capital. Why can't they give you capital? Why? Why are you starting with the no? Even in academics, you have to start with a challenge. Then you start providing solution. And that's the optimism that we're talking about. Then we have a proactive mindset and a reactive mindset. Nigeria by design is a reactive country. Why? The power grid will collapse. How many times last year? 12 times. Did we do anything proactive about it? No. We have the data or the dam that destroyed, right? Did we know or did we not know? But we will not do. Because guess what? In this part of the world, people make money from chaos. So you have to now see why you're thinking nothing works in Nigeria. People are praying for it not to work so that they will make their money. So you have to find a way to change your mindset. Because while it's not working, if you can provide some services for people that it will work, they will pay you. So that's the way of thinking in a proactive way. If you give people an assignment to walk down this street and tell them, can you find things you can change in this street? I'm very sure people will come back and tell you there's nothing that they can change. But Pastor Seb was talking here, he told you about 10 things he can change from this building. That's somebody with a proactive and solution-oriented mindset. And it leads to the solution-oriented mindset versus problem-focused. In this part of this world, we love to talk about the problems. Just enter a vehicle, public vehicle, and ask, now what for this government too? I'm very sure that your ride will be filled with discussion on why things are not working. Why? We are problem-oriented. Look at the comment section of everybody. Everybody now is the general public opinion of the general masses. They have an opinion for everything. Why is it you? Why? Wow, this one. Someone takes a bold step to do something, they say, your own self done too much. Right? But that's the way our minds are. Problematic, not solution-oriented. Then we have also what? We have people that have self-discipline mindset and a complacent mindset. And this is evidence. Remember I just told you my story on how, have you noticed what trajectory I was following? Every year my numbers were increasing. Do you tell me how I got there? It's in my book, Quantum Reading. It shows you how to remain focused and disciplined on how to read. So you have to first discover the why of your reading, the what you're reading, the how you're reading, and when to read. Once you get that figured out, you can read anything. But most times, we've not found the why. They say if you don't read, it's because you've not found the good book that will change your life. Have you noticed that you can't read a book, but you can read newspaper that is filled up with some fictions and some data, and you're up to date? You see somebody says, I'm fast in current affairs, and half of the current affairs are lies. Right? Then you have to have an empathetic mindset versus a self-centered mindset. This is a very huge problem in this part of the world. When last have you seen Good Samaritans save people around. What will happen now? There's a big accident here with a bike. Everybody will bring out their phone. Because what? We want to capture it first. I was there. And you send it to Instablog. And you want to make money. What happened to you having some empathy? But again, even the system is not even well designed, because, for example, you help somebody who has a gunshot wound. They will first keep that person in the hospital now for you to go and get all the approvals. So we need to give ourselves some level of empathy. Grace. I see some funny things that happen, especially in the line of faith, where people will go to church, speak in tongues, roll on the floor, and come out and do something that you wonder, is it the same person that just came out from the church? And likewise for every religion. You're not modeling what it is that you're supposed to be being taught, right? So let's have empathy for none another, not being too selfish, Then we have to have an innovative mindset and a conventional mindset. Innovation is simply doing things in an innovative way, in a more creative way. He is into brands now and designing a fashion designer. So he will pay attention to trend. I'm very sure he has a strategy book for the year on what would move in terms of fashion. We all move with trends. One moment it was what? Kaftan. One moment was what? Senegalese. One moment it was what? So we are always moving. And there are some things that someone like Steve Jobs does. He says most times the customer doesn't know what they want. So you have to give them what they want, distort them, and once, guess what? We love social proof now. By the time they just say, why are they wearing this? I want to wear it. Have you not seen customers who come to you and say, I bet make me wait in that thing? And he does not know why he's sewing it. Whether it fits him or not, he doesn't care. Right? So innovation is very critical. Then grateful mindset versus an entitled mindset. Pastor Sepp spoke about gratitude. Gratitude. So it's very, very important that we don't have an entitled mindset. It's not everything that the government is supposed to do for you. There's some things you should do for you. The government come and clean the street, your own house. You should be grateful that you can do it and you're contributing to society as well. Not every time like, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Most of the developed countries, if you study them, they were built by entrepreneurs and not government. Right? It will shock you. I don't know if you know this, but there are some people who are buying over businesses from government. Do you know that Gatwick Airport in the United Kingdom is owned by a Nigerian? Do you know that? His name is Ogulesi. He owns airports in America too as well. So, there are some things government cannot do. You gather some people, buy it, and develop it. And that's where we now enter into that, because we'll be grateful for people to do that. So, but everything, like I said, overall is channeled towards having a limitless mindset. Think about possibilities, not impossibilities. So, our mindset also are tailored into different levels. And I'll mention to them, there are 4 of them. One is, most times why we don't do what we have to do is because most of us are on survival mode. The reasons why I was talking to you the other time about passion, there are passionate people around, but they are living in survival. Is it their parents say, na passion one chop? Someone say, if I had known, I should have been playing football. They say, right now, there's no, who is the scout? Now we can't see any future. And that's why most people who did something out of passion were able to take bold step, resilient step. For you to get to where you are, sir, there are things you did with resilience. There were doors that were closed that you decided to force open. And there are some that you have to prove a point that they are. Have you not had maybe investors that say, you see they do this thing, you never give up, and they see your result and they come out, we always knew that you could achieve it. So survival, that's what causes some of our lackluster attitude towards recalibration. Then the next one is status. Some people come out from survival mode, and the next thing they start doing is about showing status. Do you know who I am? Who are you? Right? So most times some people are like, if you just give me this opportunity, the way I will just change my game. And after that, what happens? Nothing. You're just on status mode. Then some people go from status into freedom. They walk towards freedom. Being able to buy what I need to buy, being able to help who I can help. You're moving away from that mentality of survival where you're thinking small. You're not taking much more audacious goals. Right? Then the next one is that you now graduate and move into purpose. But very few people graduate into purpose. Very, very few. Because even those who have made it, when you ask them, what do you want to do? What's your calling? They'll be like, my brother, the most important thing is just to make money. But making money is not anything within purpose. It's not. It's not. So, why are we not taking actions if we already know all these things? Is there anything strange I've mentioned within this last minute? No, we all know these things. But why are we not taking action? One is because we have become complainers. Nigerians like to complain. They can tell you why things are not going to function. They will discuss the problem of Nigeria is the leaders, forgetting that the leaders came out from the people. Where did the leaders come out from? Bad leaders. But the bad leaders came out from people. Right? We complain. We know how to criticize. Is it only you? There are people who I told my numbers to. Now someone will just say, look at him. He just came here to talk about his numbers. Is it only that I know how to read book? That work for you. This book that you're doing, has he added anything? Are you a millionaire? My brother, forget that thing. This is the system we are in. People can have not prospered in this country because of their scared of criticisms. People don't want to come out and take audacious goals because they'll be like, now wow. People don't want to go in ministry because of they're scared of what their friends will tell them. You have a track record of bad things you've done and you've decided to convert. They're like, brother, we know where you're coming from. So most times people will want to complain and criticize and tear things down. That is why we don't want to do. Second one is that people are procrastinators. There is still time. You see this thing? There is still time. It has left people. Pastor Seb was talking about how if ideas are given, don't think that they are only dropped on your head alone. What the world is looking for are people who can act on it. Oh, I have this idea. So one idea will come out. Instead of you celebrating the idea, say, I wrote it in my 2024 journal. But you did not do it now. Why? You were procrastinating. There was no time. Then again, people start and don't finish. People are going to go to the gym in this January and not return after the 31st. Because guess what? They know how to start. They don't know how to finish. People start school and they drop out. I see someone that started school. By 300 level second semester, I say, business has called me. They will drop it out. Then you now start quoting. After all, Steve Jobs was a dropout. Bill Gates was a dropout. You'll be getting some very silly inspiration that does not hold water. Instead of you to follow it, finish the school. Right? Don't be taking audacious goals when you don't even have the capacity. Elon Musk used to go to schools and go and talk out PhD people and say, I will give you opportunity to work in my organization. It's more practical than structural. And people will go because they see the opportunity. But if you do not know the direction, don't go and be hopping because you will come back and bite you. There are so many people, and I have, I should have. So we should learn how to start and finish. Then people are talkers. I want to. If you check what they've been wanting to, by now their book, people have written 200 goals since the last 10 years, not actualized one. By this time next year, I ought to be a CEO. And even people are looking at you like, okay, this thing, they finish. Right? But again, why are people now stuck with procrastination and having this mindset? It's because of sometimes bad experience. People, someone say, now so if I don't start fashion this thing or start being pilot, but I see as that one end, make I just find. So you have people always trying to start new things, right? You hear somebody, especially, no offense to those who are housewives, but you hear some housewives when later on they want to move out from that, they say, I'm tired of sitting at home, I just want to start something. Start what? That's you have people who are engaged in businesses that they know nothing about. Because of what? They just want to be earning money without direction. So sometimes the environment, then the systems in place. Apostle Femi Lazarus, who is teaching boldly now, says there's a character of a territory. You go to a territory and you see how some people behave, and you know that you cannot go more than that. It takes somebody who has to get out of that territory. Some people is the family setup. It's only in this part of people who celebrate nonsense. Kukuma they born for my family. And you're like, what kind of limitation have you put in yourself? Or at the age of 40, some people in my family used to die. And the person is actually waiting for the 40 to reach before you just... So this kind of mentality is what we need to put on check. Then secondly, people don't have plans. Some people don't have any kind of plan, no strategy, no tools. Sir, you've met some people who have said, sir, I just need a job. And you say, give me CV. Say, what's that? Just give me a job. No. Someone will come in, employ me. The only skill he has is I'm hardworking. Hardworking with which skill now? I made up my mind 5 years ago I was not going to employ anybody who says they want anything. God forbid. I cannot hire anything. No, I will not. Don't bother. And people have said they are hardworking in some areas. You put them in another area, they begin to malfunction. So it's not about no plan. You have to have a strategy. What do I need to do in 2025? I want to be a tailor. What do I need to do? Do I need to seek some coaching, mentorship, and all? Some people don't even have the tools. But again, I'm usually scared when people say they don't have the tools. How many of us have a smartphone? How many of us? Please raise your hand if you have a smartphone. See the hands. See potential billions on your hands. And if I tell people, when last did you watch a YouTube video to enhance your career? What is few there is gossip. How Davido and Chioma are not fighting. Who is fighting this? Those are not creative videos. Right? You see, and also the way the algorithm is working now is that it's tailoring what you watch. So if you like Big Bum Bum as a guy, be rest assured that Big Bum Bum will load your profile. Right? If you're the one that is looking for, and yes, both as guys are looking at Big Bum Bum, there are some ladies too that have bookmarked all the handbag and shoes they want to buy when they have money and they're not working towards the money. So please don't waste resources. Right? So use the tools in a very good way. Then again, people lack of consistency and discipline. Today, you're starting one thing. Today, there's a wonderful book I wrote is, you have too many, the problem with you is that you have too many skills. So you're jack of all trades. In the morning, you're a footballer. In the afternoon, you're into this. Nothing is staying that will progress. You're everywhere. You hear them saying, I'm into everything. That's nothing. You have to have an identity from a business that people will trust you on where you diversify so that they can now continue to follow you. I'll give you a story. There's a guy who was a lesson teacher. And he was teaching big men, their children. Then one day, did it for like 7 years. Then one day he says, sirs, I've moved on. No, I'm no more teaching. I'm into land. But because of his track record on teaching, they trusted him. And his clients were still the same people. Because he had established himself in one. For him to be trusted. But this one, you're not even delivering. This one, you're saying you're whatever you are. You're not delivering on that one. But yet you want to get on that one and say, guys, support me. Wonders. Another thing, pride and comparison. I've never seen proud people more than some people in my life. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to be proud and poor. So if you're proud and poor, I better reevaluate your life. Because I don't know who is coming to help you. You're proud. Someone say, nah. Newsflash. The Nigerian person will not clean the streets in Nigeria, but take his ticket to Canada and go and sweep floor. Is there not something wrong? He said, no, after all, it's the same thing. No, it's cleaning. So when we come up with our ideas, the script we run in our head saying that you have to make it. No. If you carry the mindset here from Nigeria and you take it back to Canada, I can assure you will still be poor. Right? So please, let's remove pride. We need to learn. Thank God for the organizers of this program, because there are some scripts we need to remove and delete from your head and wear them. And so that, okay, I have seen someone that's inspired me today. I can move on. Someone says, I didn't go to school. Who says you have to really go to school? You can learn skills informally. There's a guy I knew that did not near 4 walls of a school, but he was taking classes and building his skills. And he's employing those that have first class. And you that have first class, you just went to go and read, you're just book smart, but you're not street smart. Because in this business world, you need to be street smart. Then again, people have, yes, stagnant intelligence. Some people, your certificate is as old as 10 years ago. But you feel that since you are young, I have a master's. I have a master's. Okay. After that, you know that master's is not the new BSc, right? Right? There are people you will meet. Let me tell you about a strange Nigerian. There's a strange Nigerian that works. I'm not sure the US will sack him anytime soon. The guy has 4 PhDs and 6 masters. He's the one that operates their airspace. Everything that has to do with their... He's a Nigerian, if you don't know. He's a Nigerian. 4 PhDs, 6 masters. And you just have BSc. You're on top of the world. People are doing strange things. He has gone through that limitless nothing. So I'm wondering, after this 3rd PhD, which supervisor will supervise his work again? He's an authority himself now. Like, I think it's an gray area. Go and find it for yourself. So don't think you're all that. Another thing that sets us back is fear of failure. People don't want to start anything because they are scared. If I fail, what's going to happen? But there's an interesting quote I heard recently. The person says, failure is feedback. And feedback is knowledge. And knowledge is power. Because those that have failed before you know what to do differently. But you that have not started, you're in trouble. So don't be scared of failure. That's why you need to get a coach or a mentor. With a coach and a mentor, you can avoid these failures. And there's some you will try and you get the lessons and not repeat them. Then lack of understanding of time, seasons, and personal energy. Now, people don't pay attention to the time. I used to say that one of the biggest luxuries that young people have is time. The thing that you think rich people are jumping about is because they want to pay for the time with their money. But you have time, 24 hours in a day, and you spend it sleeping and scrolling. At the end of the day, you should ask yourself one question: what did I learn today? Seasons. Everybody in Nigeria knows that we have 2 seasons. Abi? Rain and dry season. And somebody will still tell you that, now why? Just the waka, the rain just beat me. He did not prepare for rain. There's the sign that the rain is coming, Abi? But he did not decide to plan for the rain. Some people even have the plan for the rain, but you see that raincoat, they will push it up inside this thing, then the rain will not beat them, and not come and say, this life. People plan with seasons. You're a business person, you're not planning with the seasons of the calendar. By November, as a business person, especially when you're dealing with gift items, you don't know that Valentine is coming. You don't know that Mother's Day is coming. You should plan that. That is what people outside this country plan. Strategic people plan. Right? So please don't waste it. Then personal energy. There are some things that after you pass a particular age, OT law, don't go. You cannot be a gymnast at 40 years. It is not possible. They start it at 5. There are some things that you cannot carry over if you don't pay attention to that particular energy that you have. You see Pastor talking about him does he look like a 50-year-old Pastor said? Does he look like someone that is 50? No. But that's what people should say. There's some people that are looking 100 already, even at their young age. You don't know how to even diversify what it is that is your real age. Why? Because you did not use your energy well. How? Exercises. Someone says it's only rich people that exercise. Someone says if you don't take time, that's your body will request for it. Again, why people don't even make any movies that we have options. You see, a lot of young people will say, I have one uncle that I can call 5K now. I beg urgent 2K. I don't know how to give urgent 2K like that too. You will work for it. If you ask me for urgent 2K, I'll say, what can you do for me? And they say, you don't come back. I said, stop begging. Stop begging. Don't go around. Begging is not a professional. It's only in Nigeria someone said that someone will just hail you. And that hailing is money. Chairman, I beg, this your shoe. I beg now. Your boy there here. Before. Somebody. So, there's some things that we shouldn't, because we have options. But come out. Don't be a beggar in 2025. Instead of begging, convert that begging to potential investor. And the best way to get, let me give you a trick on how to get investors in your timeline. It's very simple. Investors want to hear how much you've put inside with your own money. Nobody's going to give you free 1 million naira. Because of what? You're pitching to just say, Chairman, if you can only just bless me, help your boy. Help your boy do what? Where is your money? Right? So, now, let's move quickly. My time is almost done. What can we do about it to recalibrate? Right? One of the things we can do is to educate yourself. There's a lot. How? Through books. You should have what you call a daily personal development plan. A daily. I didn't say weekly. Just as how you go to a 4 walls of a school and they give you the course outline. You should have a course outline. What should I learn in a day? He mentioned about critical books you should read. They may motivate you. If you are 25 years old and you want to get into business, you should read 25 books. That's a PhD on its own. Because in 25 books, you have 25 experiences. You're converting theories into practice. Right? So, you should be intentional about your personal development. Why do you think I'm reading books? I'm reading books so that I can, one, solve problems. The day I heard somebody who charges clarity session 200K, that's when I knew, is this what I'm missing? Clarity session, just come and talk about your problem, which is you that will still discover the problem by yourself. 200K. And you're sleeping on it. You have a skill. People run to you as someone that has a listening ear. That's a skill. Your counseling. You don't have to stand there and do, no. There's things you have to build. You can learn anything in this new age of YouTube. He mentioned ChatGPT. If you see what people are using ChatGPT to cash out from. How many people know what ChatGPT is? Try that thing to write you your cover letter. Try it. You will see some things that you've never seen before. You'll be amazed. Because guess what? Your natural intelligence in collaboration with artificial intelligence. Do you know what intelligence it will produce? Right? So please, one of the things I also say is, let's move to the second one. Set structures, tools, and systems. I have a strategy plan for 2025. In my strategic plan, is covering everybody that knows. If you're not in my plan, I'm sorry. Every of my children have a column on my strategic plan. My wife has a column. My operational needs has a column. My self-development needs has a column. I know how much I'm going to spend on self-development this year. There are free programs, but there's a level you have to get to that you have to pay for those programs. So even you need to be thanking the organizers here that this program is even free. There are people that pay. Let me blow your mind. Someone called, I mistakenly pressed inquiry for one mentorship program. So the lady called me and said, "Sir, you started this process. Are you not going to complete it?" I said, "No, just let me know what I'm dealing with." So the lady said, "So for this mentorship program, as an individual, it's $10,000. So I was like, "You say what? $10,000 mentorship." But this is it. You will not think small if you've walked to that point. Because there's some access you need to get to that you need that mentorship. If I pay that $10,000, one thing is guaranteed, I will have the man's access. But you'll be thinking, now wow, $10,000 is too much. There are people that pay $250,000 just to have 5 minutes with somebody in a Grand Prix session. So if you're thinking that money is much, you're still thinking small. Ordinary book, someone will say, buy a book, 2.5. You say, now wow, can't they give it for free? And they'll give it for free. You will not still read it. So, plan your strategy. Develop action plans and also review. You do an action. There's what you call, in project management, we call after action review. Right? You do that. Why did it not work? What did we do well? What can we? Right? Then also create a folder. Most times you've done something and someone's giving you feedback. If it's a positive feedback, store it. Look at it the day you're feeling depressed. That positive feedback will be like, wow, somebody said I was this, so I won't feel depressed. If it's a negative one, create a course outline. That's what I tell my mentees. Someone gave you negative feedback, create a course outline with it. You have bad interpersonal skills. Bad interpersonal skills? How can I improve my interpersonal skills? Those are things you need to do. Then the next one is establish your priority and focus, which I call decision, direction, discipline, and deliberate practice. You need to focus. So I say this, when a child is born up till when he's a toddler, he's curious. A child is curious. But a child lacks focus because he's testing everything. When we move to teenagers and all, we do not have curiosity again. And what's up, we do not have focus until somebody tells you what to do that you need to focus. So it's very intentional that you should embrace both curiosity and focus. One of the questions that led to me releasing my guidebook was somebody says, how do you read 200 books in 365 days? That's curiosity. Rather than saying, nah lie. A lady in your street has just made 2.5 million naira that you know, changed her car. Instead of you saying is that now the men where should they follow? Ask, madam, how did you? How did you? So we stop this unnecessary stuff. I wrote a guidebook. I wrote a blog 2 months ago. It's called Things You Can Achieve Before 10 a.m. I achieved most of my things by 2 o'clock. I'm done with my employer. I move on to other things I need to do. Why? I focus on the systems I've built, the structure I've built, and the efficiency. There are some things you should not be doing now again at your stage. You should be grooming other people. Right? Then the next one is pay attention to these ships. There are some ships you need to pay attention to. Right? Do not play with apprenticeship. Don't play with it. I'm very sure he knows what I'm talking about. Because you need to learn a skill, go and ask for apprenticeship. The only problem with that is that some people are gingered and never return back after they see the rigor. Right? You just want his success, but you don't want his process. How is that going to ever work for you? You need to go, I need to become this, can I be an apprentice? You're learning a skill. Don't play with internships. Internship is another way. And people are thinking internship is age restricted. Please, it's not. There are people who do internship at 50. He knows what I'm talking about. He's in the HR space. Ask for internship. You know, ask. International organizations are looking for internship. Instead of you're looking for the one that I want to earn big salary. No, go. It's one step into the place. Because if I've trained you for 2 years, guess who I will employ? You think it's a new person? No. I will employ somebody who I just trained. Then, don't play with mentorship. Mentorship, don't play with it. Mentorship is them cutting things you have played with your life. They cut it by half and the person gives it to you. That's why books are there. Autobiographies. Biographies. You want to be like Dangote, go and read Dangote's book. You want to be like Elumelu, go and read about Elumelu. Don't play with partnerships. A lot of people born partnerships. These are potential partners. Here, in front. One of the best ways you can use to improve is, sir, I see that you're into fashion. I am unemployed. Can I get you 50 clients? What will be my commission? Not partnership now. Not you begging and say, bros. No. Bros, if I can give you customers. How do you think people get into entry levels of real estate? How? Somebody is just coming and say, sir, I can sell your house. And one of the skills you need to learn, for all of you that say, I don't like to sell. Selling is in everything. No? If you cannot sell, you will not make it in this life. Sitting in an interview is you selling. Why should I give you this job? What makes you the best suitable candidate? And someone is talking left and talking right. Why should I give you? You have to sell yourself. But if you don't have anything to sell, I'm sorry you'll not be able to speak. So take selling. Take some courses in selling. Relationships. By the end of this program, we're going to build a lot of relationships. Please don't bond them. Don't get too familiar that you don't know principles on how to manage relationships. When you're getting into relationships, people diagnose who you are. Are you straightforward? Are you reliable? See the values Pastor Seb put. Are you honest? One of the key things I love in one of my values is efficiency. if you're efficient and the quality of your work is good, or more, for life. I've been using one Uber driver the last 7 years. Why? He doesn't drive me in the 7 years. But you know one thing Ugo does? Ugo says, sir, I said, Ugo, I'm going to the airport tomorrow by 7. Ugo says, sir, you know me now. If I cannot go, I'll get you somebody. Alternative, not, I do not know. So there are some things you can build in that relationship. You see somebody is struggling, solve a problem. And it doesn't have to be all monetary. All of us want to all collect money, want to make money. We are money driven and all those kind of things. So that's that. So before we close, can we have the contract displayed? There's supposed to be a barcode. Yes. If you can scan, please do. It's a contract that we have to all get to do. It's a very, very simple contract. It's a commitment to yourself or mindset. Maybe it's too far. You can come later on when my session is done to scan it. But I'll leave you with these last words before I leave. I would say there are other currencies aside money. I repeat again, there are other currencies aside money. There's a currency of time management. There's a currency of knowledge. There's a currency of skills. There's a currency of relationships. There's a currency of consistency. Consistency. I've seen how consistency has given people millions. There's a currency of health. There is a currency of health. This one is the one that is very important. There is a currency of visibility. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I wrote a wonderful blog post the other day, which is titled, Don't Waste Your WhatsApp Status. A lot of you are wasting your WhatsApp. You think your WhatsApp status is to look at your lifestyle that you don't have money yet, though? You're the one showing people off. Instead of you selling. Your WhatsApp status has not brought you money before. You're showing the big boy life on something you've not achieved. Don't waste your WhatsApp status. Don't waste it. It's sad when young people who do not know what to do with their time are using their work. And again, like I tell young people, you don't know who is in your contact list. You think it's your peers alone? Somebody is there who would have given you a job. You're doing soft lifestyle. They just say, let me pass. Because I don't know whether you know what you're doing. Visibility, but the right visibility. There is a currency of humility. You have to be humble. You have to be humble. In this space, to triumph, you have to be humble. There's also the currency of reachability. There's a currency of experience. There is a key currency of track record. Track record. That is what's in the space when they're asking for experience. In the CV world, let me just expand in what he was trying to push. I don't care what they ask you to do in your organization. I only care about the results that you brought. They asked me to move this stand. That was your task, and you put it for me inside CV. For the ATS to tick it out. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how you're able to set up this stand in an efficient way that captured this room and all. Achievement. For example, one of the leaders in my organization asked the driver, he said, I've been driving for 15 years. He said, what's that? Anybody can drive for 15 years. What did you improve? Fuel efficiency in the company. Did you reduce it by what? Do you know a company like UPS? They did a start and they found out how to save time. They found out that in their routes, they don't take left turns. All their drivers take right turns because it saved them so and so gallons of fuel. And it made them efficient. That's the way to provide problems and results. Not they ask me to do, they ask me to do. Integrity, Pastor mentioned it. And the last one is honor. 2 more quotes before I go. Note this. To move up in life, you need a plan for your succession. To move up in life, you need a plan for your succession. What it means that you have to also train up. My exit plan out of the organization is a succession plan of who can do my job when I'm gone. Some people leave the job and there's a huge vacuum. You think you've done well, you failed. So you need a proper plan. Pastors know this, imams know this, everybody knows it. Except you don't want to succeed. Then the last quote. If you are lost, the answer is education. If you are educated, the answer is execution. And if you are executing, the answer is consistency. Thank you very much.